So, of course, in the wake of Monday's terrible tragedy here in Montreal in the Côte d'Ivoire district, when 3 people lost their lives, the shooter, the pandemonium that was created at that time, we were in studio. I was here and trying to deal with all the information that was coming through, some from police, some from people posting on social media. And I think a lot of us at that time, and I remember reading texts from listeners suggesting, "What do you know this?" or "Or I saw this," or "I saw this on social media." The need to share that information before it was actually verified by the police, for example. You want to be able to provide information in a situation like that, because that insanity breaking out and watching the videos of people running around that area where the Westbury condos are was something we're just not used to seeing in the city. But the temptation to reveal information that we had not yet been confirmed was a difficult thing to do. We do it because that's the business we're in here, in news. But in the meantime, on social media, all kinds of misinformation was spreading. And our next guest, he is a rabbi, and he wrote a piece that is in an op-ed in the Montreal Gazette, which brings that, I think, very much to light. His name is Rabbi Yisroel Bernath. He's a spiritual director at Rohr Chabad NDG, and he's also the Jewish chaplain at Concordia University. Rabbi, thank you for coming on. Let me begin by asking, and the title here is, "As a Rabbi in Montreal, the Jewish response to scary news cannot be, quote, forward first, verify later." What brought you to want to do this, to write this?
I think similar to you and to so many others in the community, I was shocked. A police officer killed, a member of the Jewish community killed, families shattered. And then right away, I saw the second wave hit, the rumors, the videos, the theories, the motives. And so much of it was being shared before anyone really knew it was true. And I understand why. The Jewish community, especially, and I can only speak as a rabbi, and from the Jewish community, we're raw. People are scared. Jewish hatred is real. And when something happens near Jewish life, I think people naturally tense up and wonder, is this about us? And I think that's when we have to be most careful.
You go ahead. I'm sorry.
As a rabbi, my job is to sit with people in their fear, and I don't dismiss it, but I also don't want to feed it. And I felt like at that moment we needed some clarity, and so I actually originally just posted this on social media at the moment,
right?
And then later the Gazette picked it up, and I think that when there's darkness, we need to add light. We need to have that level of clarity. And light does mean clarity. It sometimes means restraint. It sometimes means saying, I don't know yet, but I don't want to be part of the misinformation.
You also write, and this is interesting, you write, you understand how it happens, as you said, right? Because the news cycle moves at the speed, I like the way you described it, it moves at the speed of panic, right? As soon as something terrible like this, which no one could have imagined could happen in our city, as soon as it happens, everyone wants to be able to provide, I'm not sure what, information of some kind. I'm not sure what that is supposed to do other than just raise fear to an even higher level.
Absolutely. And there is. I mean, there's people whose lives were locked up for hours. People didn't know what to do. Yeah. And in these moments, and please God, we should never, ever have to know of this. Ever. It's terrible. It's a terrible thing. But in these moments, I think we need to just take a step back and try to think clearly. That's my wish.
Well, I was going to ask you, what the message is. So people will read this and some will say, I'm sure, you know what, Rabbi, it doesn't matter. We were doing what we were doing, posting on social media, trying to actually help. And I'm not sure I understand what that means. How are they trying to help exactly? Do you understand that?
I think that everyone decided, and I know, Aaron, you're in media, but people decided because there's social media that they get to also be in media. So therefore, they get to, without fact checking or without thinking it through, just share whatever it is. And then, I mean, the rumors that were spreading during that time and how far it got, it was just unbelievable.
And go ahead.
People need somewhere to put that panic.
Yeah.
They need somewhere to put the frustration. So the easiest thing to do is to start making up stories.
Not because you want to make up stories, but because you actually think you're adding something to the conversation.
I guess so.
I mean, otherwise, why would you do it? Look, it's kind of a look at me, right? I want to get the attention. Look what I've posted on social media, and not realizing what you're doing. And I know there's been a lot of reaction. You mentioned this as well. That one video that shows most of what happened at the end, including the gunman being killed, the bystander being killed. The argument is, and you suggest that should not have been posted on social media either, the graphic nature of it, right? But it was.
I think we should think twice before posting something like that. I mean, people don't know, or if someone's posting it, put a caveat like, this is graphic.
Yeah.
Because people are just clicking on those videos and seeing something that maybe they didn't want to see. And it's difficult. Not everybody can handle that. To see that kind of gore is very difficult.
Have you heard from anybody post what you wrote or post what you had originally put on social media saying, you know what, I agree with you or I don't agree with you, that it needed to be done?
We live in a world with a lot of opinions.
We do.
I've gotten a lot of opinions as a result of writing this.
Is there a consensus to those opinions?
I think that the vast majority of people, at least that reached out to me, were supportive, saying that you put words to my thoughts.
Okay.
And that was really what I wanted to do.
I'm wondering, too, we talk about the Jewish community, of course, as you said when we began the conversation. You see something like this happen. We know that there are a lot of, Jewish people living in that area. So, of course, that's the first thing you jump to. Is it some kind of an anti-Semitic attack? You point out that as well, though, that sometimes we overplay that.
Yeah. The Jewish community is really raw right now. So I understand that, and I'm not judging anyone for it. And at the same time, I think there's a responsibility to be vigilant and also responsible.
I will also point out, and I don't know that it's mentioned in your piece, I don't remember seeing it, as we began to find out about the manifesto that this shooter had, beyond everything else, beyond the misogynistic comments and, going after Western civilization and what, there was a part in there about Jewish people, about, anti-Semitism as well, which I think may have given risen to this idea that's where this attack was directed.
Right. We only found that out later,
right.
And it's definitely alarming. And at the same time, this could have been, even at this point, would I write that it was anti-Semitism or Jewish hatred?
Right.
Maybe it's added to it. Who knows? There's still so much up in the air about it.
I will close with this thing that you wrote. You wrote, "We are Jews. We are not helpless. We are not hysterical. We are not people who hand our nervous systems over to the loudest voice on the internet. We are a people of truth, a people of responsibility, a people of light. And when the world feels darker, we do not make it darker by forwarding fear," which I think is the biggest message in here of all.
Yeah, I agree.
Rabbi, I thank you so much for coming on, and I'm sure that people reading this and who have read it, I think feel better after having read it. Again, because you know what? You kind of bring the temperature down. I remember what it was like here on Monday afternoon, so much going on all at the same time. So good on you for doing this, and it's very much appreciated. I'm sure I speak for everybody in the community who read it.
Thank you. I appreciate that support, and that's exactly why I wrote it.
I thank you very much. Appreciate it. Rabbi Yisroel Bernath on the events of Monday afternoon, that tragic shooting in the Côte d'Ivoire area.
Close your eyes, and you can hear the entire world come alive. 2026 FIFA World Cup is on, and you can stream it all live on TSN Radio. From the opening kickoff to the final celebration, every match, every moment. Listen to FIFA World Cup on TSN Radio.
Gives Canada the liftoff.
Available on iHeartRadio.